Okay, hello everybody. This is the Ashish Narayan sports and political podcast. Much more sports centric show today, and we have lots to talk about. The Georgia Alabama All SEC National Championship game, the two top quarterbacks declaring for the NFL draft, where they go, what happens if they go to certain teams, how good are they, the NFC and AFC playoff picture, and much more about specific issues on politics. All of that is coming up. But let me start with this. So last night, the Cleveland Cavaliers are playing the Boston Celtics in what everyone calls this big NBA showdown. Right? LeBron is going to play Kyrie at Kyrie's house. This is a revenge game. No, it wasn't a revenge game. It wasn't a big game, and you can't take anything away from the game after watching it. Here's why, okay? Let's be honest. Kevin Love played terrible. He doesn't play that bad on a normal basis. He doesn't miss those type of shots. Missed wide open threes, layups, duck-ins. Just not his night. LeBron James, I'm not sure if he even played the fourth quarter. Okay? He was aggressive in the first half, but after that lead exploded, there was no point in trying to come back because you're giving away the mental edge to Boston. And let me explain to you why, even though Cleveland lost, this is a purely mental game that Cleveland won. Cleveland won the mental edge because they lost, but they lost without Kevin Love playing well, without LeBron playing well in the second half, and barely playing at all, without Isaiah Thomas playing, with their bench playing in the fourth quarter. And guess what? Boston's bench, Terry Rozier, Marcus Smart, they don't put the ball in the bucket like that on a normal basis, on a regular basis. They don't do that. Marcus Smart can't hit threes. He did last night. Boston overachieved. Cleveland didn't even have all their parts. The parts they did have, they didn't show up. LeBron did for the first half, but after this game became a wash, what was the point of playing? Adding minutes, injury risk for a game that's meaningless? The mental edge is this. When they get Isaiah Thomas back, when Kevin Love is hitting shots, when LeBron is full gear for 48 minutes, they beat Boston by 20 points. Everyone knows that. That's the mental edge. They gave them this game without even putting up a fight. Okay? Without playing well, without putting up a fight. And let me say this. The Celtics bench played extremely well. Terry Rozier, Marcus Smart, not known as shooters, put the ball in the basket. They're not doing that in a playoff series when everything counts. They're not doing that in February. When Isaiah Thomas gets back, this is a real gauge of who's the best team in the East. And guess what's going to happen? LeBron's going to put his foot on the gas pedal. Everybody's going to follow their lead. Cleveland's going to win by 20. Okay? Book it. Boston can't win with Kyrie Irving as their best player. Boston cannot do that. Alright? And guess what? Cleveland is going to take this Eastern Conference. Cleveland is going to win this Eastern Conference. No matter what anyone says, this is a wrap. This game, more than any other game, showed me, alright, Cleveland was not focused. Cleveland was lackadaisical. Cleveland did not individually make the shots they usually make, and they weren't even at full strength with an overachieving bench in Boston last night. They only lost by 14 points. Seriously. To take away that Boston is somehow better than Cleveland from this game is a joke. That's how Cleveland wants Boston to take that game, but they're not. When Cleveland puts the foot on the gas, they will blow out Boston and any other team in the Eastern Conference that thinks they can stand with LeBron James. You want to know what the common denominator is? LeBron James is better than anyone the rest of the Eastern Conference can throw out. Okay? The reason why he can't beat the West is because 2, 3, and another top 10 player are all on the same team. That's why he can't beat them. LeBron James is far and away the best player in the NBA. Far and away, obviously, the best player in the Eastern Conference. And with the teams not being stacked so heavily in star power against LeBron in the Eastern Conference, it's a wrap. We knew that from the beginning. Boston, I don't even think they're one of the top 2 teams. I think Toronto's better simply because of star power. Washington might be better. Okay? I don't think Boston makes the Eastern Conference Finals. And we already saw what LeBron has done to Washington and Toronto this season. It is a wrap, folks. The Eastern Conference is a wrap. So is the Western Conference. No need to make a big deal out of this game because it was purely a mental game. Here we go. Have it. We're not playing at our 50% best effort. We don't have a full squad yet, and your team's coming at it like it's a playoff game. Take the bait. Take it. We'll let you have it because in February you're gonna know what's coming. And guess what? In the playoffs, if not in February, you're going to know what's coming from LeBron and Isaiah Thomas and Kevin Love and the league's best bench. That's what's going to happen. So, not much to take away from this game other than that. Now, let me segue to this, right? We have the National Championship game in less than a week. In a few days, actually 3-4 days. And I am of the belief that a teacher, right, is always better than the student. Because the teacher taught the student how to do certain things. Right? And Kirby Smart was a student of Nick Saban at Alabama. But what Kirby Smart doesn't have that Nick Saban has is the understanding of how to be a CEO. I talked about this earlier. A CEO is not someone who's good at everything, but that identifies leaders that are good at certain things. See, the dogs, as they call them, are dogs up front. Big, physical, fast linebackers. They're a defensive team. They're a physical team. And they're a fast team. But no way are they beating Alabama in this national championship game. No way are they going to do that. because we've seen this before. We've seen this with all other assistants of Nick Saban. The assistants of Nick Saban never beat him, and there is a reason why. Okay? Because their assistants, they were assistants, they have assistants DNA in them for a reason. There was a reason they became an assistant before becoming a head coach. There's a reason why. Because they're so good at one thing, they can't manage the entire thing. Now you might ask, well, then how is Kirby Smart able to win so many games? Because in college football, unlike many other businesses, college football runs different than most other businesses. And yes, college football is a business. And we'll get to that on some other day. But college football is based on talent. Holding it to some degree wins you 11 games. Finding the best talent wins you 9. Okay? This is what recruiting is. This is why recruiting is so important in building a culture, in building a team. Coaching in college football, mind you, is no big secret. You find the best players, you get a good training staff. Don't lose the game with your play calls, and you'll win a championship every now and then. Okay? Or, right? If you recruit on a regular basis the top players in the country, you'll win a championship at a regular pace. Okay? That's what Nick Saban has done. Kirby Smart is successful because he was a recruiter. He knows how to recruit, and that's how he gets talent. Also, his alma mater, Georgia, the team he coaches, has probably the highest stockpile of high school football talent in this country. So for him not to recruit well, for that team not to win 10 games, to win 11 games, to go to an SEC championship, to make the playoffs on a regular basis, that's a joke. Because we know the talent that comes out of Georgia. And to underutilize it, or to not get that talent at all, is a fallacy. That's why 9-3 at Georgia won't work. Because when you coach for Georgia, you have all the talent at your disposal. So when you get it, when you have the right guy to get that talent, you'll win a lot of games, and that's what you saw from Georgia this season. But they're not winning this. They're not beating Nick Saban this year because Kirby Smart is still a coordinator. Kirby Smart is still an assistant. Kirby Smart's team is predicated on defense, physicality, and running game. There's no creativity to his offense because he's not an offensive coach. I understand that neither Nick Saban is, and they aren't creative either. But they still attempt to pass the ball. They still have NFL play callers calling offensive schemes. And that's why they can attack you in many different ways. Literally, Georgia has 4 offensive plays: the out route, the deep pass, and running with one of the 10 running backs that they have on their team, probably. Okay? And the reason why Georgia's able to pass the ball is because the safeties are down, it's man-to-man coverage, put the ball in a spot, receiver will get it, bada bing, bada boom. And you don't have to do it very often, because even when the safeties are down, you're still able to out-muscle the other team. Well, Alabama, okay, has the same talent up front, if not better talent, than Georgia does. So Georgia's not going to be able to run the football at all. Okay? Jake Fromm will be forced to throw the ball down the field. And guess what's going to happen? He's going to have 2 safeties along with NFL corners, Tony Brown, Minka Fitzpatrick, hard hitters. And he's not mobile. He can't escape. He's not improvisational, making that secondary guess. It's going to go terrible on offense for Georgia. Okay, now to the other side, right? Alabama has a power running game. Not much creativity, but they can pass the ball. They have many top wide receivers. Jerry Jeudy, for Foster, I forget his first name, really good player. And then you have, obviously, your first-round talent, probably the best route runner in college football, Calvin Ridley. Jalen Hurts is suspect, but against that secondary that got shredded, okay, they're not going to keep up with those receivers. They may not even have to. You know why? Because Bama might just run it down their throats. Alabama, if you saw Georgia couldn't create any type of push up front against Oklahoma's offensive line. Alabama's offensive line is not Oklahoma's, but they're still very good. Okay? And along with that, at the second level, Georgia can't tackle at all. So it's going to be a power running, smash mouth, possibly a couple play actions in there. Just total domination. Georgia will not score a single point against Alabama. They will not score a single point. In fact, Alabama will have 14 plus points on defense. Alabama's offense, due to its lack of creativity, will score only a few points on offense. But it won't matter. They'll physically dominate. They'll push the ball down the field with the running game. I don't think they'll get it in the end zone as often because of the lack of complexity. But I have Alabama winning 20-0 against Georgia. I think it's not going to be close. We're going to know very quickly that the master is still the master. And that is how Nick Saban is going to etch his place in college football history. So that's your full analysis right there. And more to come on the Ashish Narayan sports and political podcast. We have NFC, AFC, NFL playoffs to cover. And then we shift gears into politics, talking about what's up with the Russia investigation and some more policy-related discussions. Up next,